Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a really interesting financial tool, one that's designed to give your child a major head start on their future. It's called NPS Vatsalya. And it's not just about stashing away money for them, it's about building a real foundation for their financial independence, starting from day one. So let's get right into it.
You've probably heard this saying 1,000 times, right? Well, it perfectly captures the spirit of what we're talking about today. I mean, of course, we all want to provide for our kids, but what if we could also teach them about saving, about planning, about how money works right from the very beginning? That's really the core idea we're going to explore. Look, every parent on the planet wants to build a secure future for their child. It's just a fundamental human instinct, and NPS Vatsalya is a financial product that really taps into that feeling, giving you a structured, dedicated way to save for your child's long-term future. So what is this thing exactly? Let's break it down. Simply put, it's a national pension system, or NPS account, but for a minor. The account is officially in your child's name, but you, as the parent or guardian, are in the driver's seat. You manage it, you make the contributions, all the way until they turn 18. You can think of it as giving them a massive head start on their own retirement savings. Now, to really get a handle on NPS Vatsalya, it helps to see where it fits in the bigger NPS family. It's the newest kid on the block, and as you'll see, it shares a lot of the same DNA as the accounts that already exist for adults. Okay, this is actually a fantastic way to think about it. Imagine the standard NPS Tier 1 account is like the responsible older sibling. It's for adults, it's got really strict rules, and its entire focus is on that long-term goal of retirement. NPS Vatsalya, then, is like the youngest sibling. It's for a minor, but, and this is key, it has that same serious, responsible personality. It comes with similar tough restrictions, all designed to keep the focus squarely on building that nest egg for the future. All right, enough theory. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. How do you actually set one of these accounts up? What does managing it look like? Turns out the process is pretty straightforward. One of the first things you'll notice is how accessible this is. The minimum you have to contribute each year is just 1,000 rupees. That low bar makes it a really manageable option for a lot of families to get started without feeling like they have to make some huge financial commitment right away. So, once you're in, you have to decide how the money gets invested. They make it pretty easy with something called auto choice. Basically, you get 3 preset options based on how comfortable you are with risk. You can play it safe with the conservative option, which puts only 25% in stocks. You can go for the aggressive one with up to 75% in equities, or you can just stick with the moderate option, which is the default, and that puts you at a 50-50 split. But hey, maybe you're the type of person who likes to be in the driver's seat. If that's you, there's also the active choice. This lets you pick the exact percentages you want in different types of assets yourself. The only rule is you still can't put more than 75% of the total into equities. And what about all the paperwork? Don't worry, it's nothing too crazy. You'll just need the standard stuff: proof of your child's age, your own KYC documents to prove who you are and where you live, your PAN card, and if you happen to be an NRI or OCI, you'll need the details of your NRE or NRO bank account. It's a very clear-cut process. Okay, this is where it gets really important. So, you've been putting money in for years, the fund is growing, and your child is growing up. The big question is, how and when can you actually get to this money? Let's break down the rules for withdrawals, what happens when you want to exit, and, of course, the taxes. So here's the biggest milestone: the day your child turns 18. At that point, the Vatsalya account is designed to automatically become a regular NPS Tier 1 account. Your child will then have to do their own KYC process, and once that's done, boom, they take full control. You, the guardian, then become the nominee on the account. But what if you need some of that money before your child turns 18? Well, for a few specific emergencies, you can make a partial withdrawal. Now listen closely, because this is super important. You can take out a maximum of 25% of the total contributions you've put in. That's 25% of what you've deposited, not 25% of the total value of the account after it's grown. It's a key distinction. Now, you can't just take this money out for a new bike or a vacation. The rules are strict. These partial withdrawals are only allowed for very specific critical life events, and only after the account has been open for at least 3 years. You can do this up to 3 times for things like the child's higher education, treatment for certain major illnesses, or if they unfortunately suffer a severe disability. And importantly, these specific withdrawals are tax-free. And of course, everyone wants to know about the taxes, right? Well, there is a direct tax benefit for you, the guardian. If you're following the old tax regime, your contributions to the Vatsalya account can get you a deduction of up to 50,000 rupees. Just remember that 50,000 rupee limit is shared with any money you might be putting into your own NPS Tier 1 account.
Okay, we've gone through the what and the how, but now we get to the most important question of all, the why. Or maybe, why not? Is NPS Vatsalya actually a good fit for your family's financial plan? Let's really weigh the pros and the cons here.
Let's start with the good stuff. Honestly, one of the biggest benefits is less about the numbers and more about the mindset. It's an incredible tool to teach your kids about saving, about patience, about the magic of compounding from a young age. It's a structured, disciplined way to build a retirement fund for them, and it can be especially valuable for parents of children with special needs who are looking for that extra layer of long-term financial security. But, and this is a really big but, you have to look at the other side of the coin. First things first, secure your own retirement before you even think about your child's. That's rule number one. Second, if your main goal is saving for college, remember you can only pull out 25% of what you put in. That might not be enough. Also, capping equities at 75% might actually be too conservative for a goal that's decades away. And finally, this is a big one. If your child decides to exit the plan early, 80% of the money has to be used to buy something called an annuity. That means they don't get a big chunk of cash. Instead, that money buys them a small, regular income stream. It massively limits their financial flexibility. All right, I know that was a lot to take in. So before we wrap up, let's just boil it all down to the absolute must-know points you should take away from all this. So here's the bottom line. It's best to think of NPS Vatsalya as a tool for teaching financial discipline. At its core, it's basically a restricted NPS Tier 1 account for your child. It automatically becomes a normal NPS account when they turn 18 and do their KYC. You can get some money out for huge life events, but if you want to exit early, you hit that big wall. 80% of the money gets locked into an annuity. And that really brings us to our final thought for the day. When you strip away all the rules and the numbers, the question this product really makes you ask is a bigger one. In the grand scheme of things, is the most valuable asset you can give your child the knowledge and the discipline to manage their own financial future? Something to chew on. I really hope you found this explainer helpful. If you did, do us a favor and like the video, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives just like this one. Thanks so much for watching.